This is the money timeline.
Let me ask you a question. What have you built in your life so far that is truly great? Something that makes you look back and say, yeah, I built that. If you are not satisfied with your answer, let me tell you why. You don't know how to calculate risk. Most people think that being an entrepreneur, making big moves, or changing their life is just about taking blind risks. That is a massive illusion. True success is not about taking risks blindly. It is about measuring that risk with the precision of a surgeon, millimeter by millimeter. Blind courage will ruin you, but a calculated risk, backed by numbers, will carry you to a completely different league. From the outside, they look exactly the same, but one is a cliff and the other is a stepping stone. Today, we are going to talk about how you should actually look at the risks you fear and how you should look at your life. Put your headphones on and listen closely. Section 1. Those who can't see the risk will lose. Let's face the truth. Any risk you cannot measure, any risk where you cannot see the outcome, is just gambling. If there is no data, if there is no plan, all you have left is raw courage. And I'm sorry, but courage alone is not a strategy. Courage is just a bet. Every single day in the market, you see people going completely broke saying, I risked everything. Then you see someone else saying the exact same phrase, but they play for the top. The difference is not luck. The difference is that one calculated the risk, while the other just acted on emotion and excitement. Now, be honest with yourself. Today, as you take a step into a business, an investment, or a major decision saying, I'm risking it, do you actually have a calculation in your hands, or is it just hope? If you are only hoping, you are gambling. Those who couldn't measure risk stood still for centuries. Those who learned to manage risk ruled the world. Section 2. The system is wrong, not you. Sometimes the problem is not your capacity, your intelligence, or your talent. The problem is directly with the system you are using. Think about the ancient Greeks or the Romans. They were the pioneers of logic, geometry, and philosophy. They built massive empires. But for centuries, they dragged themselves through one massive mistake. They wrote numbers with letters. Try doing multiplication with Roman numerals. It is almost impossible. Even the most brilliant minds of that era were wasted inside that hantal, broken system. Now, pause for a moment and look at your life from the outside. How correct is your system? Maybe the problem is not your laziness. Maybe those habits, those old working methods you've been holding on to for years, thinking they are right, are not moving you forward. They are pinning you down right where you are. A smart person does not just work harder. A smart person looks for the right system. Working harder blindly will only burn you out. The right system, however, will make you fly. If you are stuck, stop blaming yourself and change your method. Section 3. The smallest idea creates the biggest leap. Centuries ago, in India, an idea was born that seemed so simple and insignificant at the time that no one understood its value at first. Zero. A single symbol representing nothingness, an empty space. Of course, no one was going to the market saying, give me £0 of something. But without that concept of nothing, None of the calculation systems, the technology, or the software that runs the world today could ever exist. The biggest bottleneck that massive empires couldn't solve for centuries was fixed by that small, humble symbol. So, what are you waiting for? Perfect capital? A massive network? A revolutionary idea? Forget about all of that. The thing that changes the game is always the smallest, most ordinary-looking first step. That phone number waiting in your contacts, that email waiting to be sent, or that tiny experiment you look down on. Never underestimate a step just because it's small. All massive explosions always start with that one tiny spark. Section 4. Those who turn knowledge into cash will win. At the beginning of the 13th century, a 27-year-old man named Fibonacci encountered a brand new calculation system during his travels. After the hantal Roman numerals, a completely different world opened up in front of him. He worked with the best minds of the era, learned theories, but he did not become an academic who left knowledge only in books. Do you know what he did? He took that knowledge and brought it straight into the practical world. He showed people exactly how to calculate profit margins, how to do trade, and how to exchange currency. He took knowledge and he turned it into cash. This is the breaking point. Knowledge alone is absolutely nothing. We live in the internet age. The knowledge of everything is free on Google. The market is flooded with people who claim to know everything, people who have an opinion on every topic. But the number of people who can turn that knowledge into value and that value into profit can be counted on one hand. Do you have a skill? Do you have experience? The question is very simple. Whose painful problem are you going to solve with this knowledge? Who is going to open their wallet for what you know? Knowledge is just the starting line. Execution is the prize itself. Section 5. Greatness doesn't happen overnight, it accumulates. Remember that perfect rule of growth in nature. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Every number is the sum of the two numbers before it. Nothing is born out of nothing overnight. Every single step is built by compounding on top of the accumulation of the past. This mathematics exists in the spiral of a seashell, and it exists in the shape of galaxies. Why would your process be any different? Your first year will be small. Maybe your second year will be just like that too. But if every step you take every day builds on top of the previous one, you will wake up one morning and see that your growth rate has turned into an unstoppable force. Those small jobs you look down on today, those days you earn very little, those ordinary steps, they are the 1 and the 2 of your process. If you leave them out, you will never reach those massive numbers at the peak. You will be patient. You will grow exponentially. Section 6. There is a resistance inside everyone. Do you know what happened when these new numbers and this system first came out? People didn't admire it. On the contrary, they banned it. They called it unreliable. They called it dangerous. It took exactly 300 years for society to accept it. In other words, even the most correct, most perfect idea faces massive resistance when it first steps into this world. Today, when you try to change a routine in your life, when you step out of your comfort zone and enter a new path, your environment will become a wall against you. Your family, your friends, even that cowardly voice inside your own head will resist you. This resistance does not mean you are on the wrong path. It just means there is a natural price to the deep change you are making. If you are facing great resistance in your life, be glad. It means you are on the right path, because no one shows resistance to ordinary, safe, and cowardly ideas. That outside validation, that applause you are waiting for, will never come from anyone. So stop waiting for it and give yourself your own approval. Now, let's lay everything down on the table. Taking a risk is not gambling. It is entirely a matter of calculation. If your life is stuck somewhere, you are not untalented. Your method is just outdated. Change the system. That smallest step you take today while looking down on it is the seed of the empires you will build tomorrow. Knowing is not enough. You must turn that knowledge into value in the field. And remember, greatness does not happen overnight. It comes with patience, exponentially. Make your calculations well. Keep your head up and never stop. Now, I want to ask you, what is the biggest risk standing in front of your life right now? Which calculated step are you afraid to take? Or, how are you fighting the biggest resistance in front of you right now? Let's meet in the comments. I want to read every single one of them and talk to you there. Make sure to write your own story or your opinion down below. Don't forget to like and follow for more content like this. Take care of yourself. Stay in the game.